My name is Kirk Shannon Buds. I'm the curator for the gallery in Baltimore City Hall. Thank you for coming out tonight. On behalf of the Mayor Young, we're happy to have you into the gallery this evening for this amazing exhibition. We're happy to have Derrick home with his show, Where I'm From. I'm going to introduce City Council President Brandon Scott now for remarks.
Good evening, everybody. We're going to try that again. Both Derrick and I from Park Heights. Good evening, everybody. That's more like it. I just came by tonight to say welcome home and thank you. We often hear all that's so negative about Baltimore. There's this guy who looks like the color of my favorite fruit that lives in D.C. talking bad about Baltimore all the time. But we know the greatness that comes from Baltimore City. We can see it tonight in Derrick's artwork. We can see where he's from. And he's from Baltimore, a city not like no other. He's from a neighborhood like no other in Park Heights. I can see Reisterstown Road, I think, in some of the pictures back there. So tonight is a time for us to celebrate one of our own who is so talented, who represents the talent that we know exists on the streets of Baltimore City. So, sir, congratulations, and most importantly, thank you for showing the world what Baltimore can do through your arts, through your vision, and continue to do that. And again, welcome home.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Council President Scott. So now I'm going to introduce to you the president of MICA, Maryland Institute College of Art. In September marks my first year anniversary here at the gallery. Thank you. Thank you. And during the course of the year, most of the students and artists that I've encountered and done studio visits with have been connected to that university. It's a really important university here in Baltimore and throughout the nation. So without further ado, President Sammy Hoy.
Good evening, everyone. It's really a pleasure to be able to add a few words to welcome home our art world star and a Baltimore native, Derrick Adams, back. And President Scott already mentioned what a wonderful homecoming this is. So I just want to add maybe a few details and color to that. Before he became the multidisciplinary art star and curator that the world knows now, he was a 10-year-old elementary school student at Edgecombe Circle Elementary School that actually won a mayor-sponsored art competition. And part of that award was that he had lunch with the mayor, and he also got to show his artwork here in City Hall. Now, a couple of decades later, what a wonderful full circle that we actually have him as a full-fledged artist coming back showing that. So this is really important showing for Baltimore, and thank you so much. So, thank you. Great. Yeah. And I also want to mention why it is so important, he's so important as an artist. The title of the exhibition that he won as a 10-year-old was called My Heritage, Myself. And it was prophetic because Derrick has now traveled very far from a 10-year-old art student, art winner, to someone with a global art practice, and also someone whose work not only shown in gallery, in the community, but also on TV shows like Empire. And yes, we all know that. So, but he has never forgiven his identity and his heritage. And so heritage of himself have always shown up through his work, through his art, through his installation, through his public engagement. He has asserted his black identity, his black voice, and also bring along all the black American icons onto the mainstream stage and sharing the history, sharing that vibrancy of black culture. And we are all grateful and indebted to him, for that. In a recent interview, he actually mentioned that when he started out, he thought he would never make money off his art, and therefore community was the real price. Now, aren't we glad that he was dead wrong about not making money from the arts? And aren't we glad that he didn't have to wait till 80-year-old before he was actually recognized by museums and the whole world? But at the same time, aren't we really glad that he has never wavered from ideas, community, social voice, and racial justice being the real reasons why he makes art? And I think this is why his title is called Where I'm From, and this is why he is such an important artist, and it's so moving for him to come back. So before I go off, I just have a final plug. He actually taught at MICA when he was fresh off graduate school for a few years. So I would like him very much to come back to MICA to talk to our students now, because he is a true hero to not only this generation, but the next generation artists and also residents of Baltimore. So please help me welcome Derrick Adams to the stage.
Be more! I'm so happy to be here. I'm so excited to actually be in this space. It's full circle. It all happened a little year ago when the curator, Kurt Butts, sent me an email via recommendation from Tanya Miller here, who is a really old friend of mine from Baltimore who's known me since I was probably like 10, 11, 9, probably earlier than that, you know. And they emailed me, and it was just a random email asking me if I would be interested in having a show here at City Hall Gallery. And I was working on these paintings of my family, and this is really just the beginning of the series. And I was just in my studio just working on these paintings and thinking about, well, first they were drawings. And I started working on these drawings based on the photo album. And when I was asked to propose an exhibition for the gallery, I automatically thought about this body of work. And what was really exciting about showing this work is because when I was a kid, I was here celebrated at City Hall with the mayor for a contest, My Heritage, Myself. And I remember that day so interestingly because I've always liked art. And my mom, who's not here, she recently passed. But I remember mom was really young when I was a kid, and I won the contest. And my mom was working. And she was like, I can't get off and work for this contest, whatever, for lunch. So she sent my Uncle Mackie, who people know my Uncle Mackie. And my Uncle Mackie came here with me. And he was probably like in his early 20s at the time too, and he was here with me, and we had lunch with the mayor, and the work hung in the mayor's office. So when I was invited to do a show, I was just really excited that more than, you know, just the museums I've shown in and commercial galleries I've shown in, I thought this was the most ideal place to have this work because it's a public space. You can walk in at any time, and you can see the work. And everything in these images that I have here are a backdrop of the city, from Drew Hill Park to other parks that are in Maryland, to family houses in Park Heights and Pimlico Road, and all those things that I experienced in environments I was around. So I just wanted to show people through this work that, you know, looking back at your own archive, which is your family photos, and the importance of really looking back at your history and looking at it in the way that historians look at history. Because in Baltimore, it's important because a lot of things are changing. And it's important to look at and document your images because a lot of those neighborhoods and the houses aren't here anymore. So, you know, so think about that and think about how important your images are for people to see and to preserve them. So go get a scanner before they bleed out and fade, so you'll have them on a digital format. So thank you. Thank you.